Hi everyone, Juliana here and welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how I take motion self-portraits or motion pictures, and by motion pictures I mean that images where you can see certain movement or dynamic. So for example, in the particular picture you can see that my hair is moving around, or I have images that there is kind of the fabric is flowing around. So how to actually create those type of images? Okay, so the first I want to mention, in case that you don't know, that majority of images like that, they either composites or they altered in post-production. This is really a small percentage when images was captured exactly like that. It's a huge luck if you will have this beautiful image where the shape and dynamic is all aligned perfectly. So just because you're a photographer and you cannot really rely on luck in your profession, there is a ways how to ensure that you can create that image on demand. So usually I create my images like this in two stages. First, you need to have an understanding, a vision of what image do you want, and of course you can play around on set. But for example, for this particular image, I knew that I want to be in a profile and I want to have like some strong graphic pose, and I want my hairs kind of fly away, and I want kind of long ponytail. And that I had in mind, and of course I took some more pictures, but I first go for what I have in mind. So the first stage is the overall image and the pose. So first I wasn't considering about my hair at all. I just styled the way that I felt this will be good and complementary to the overall image. And then I just took many shots of different poses that I thought would be like a nice strong lined Vogue fashion type of thing, because this is what I usually lean toward to. And so I took quite a few of them just to make sure that I have enough to select from later on, because I have kind of general idea, but I didn't really have the specific pose that I wanted to execute. And then stage number two, for example, in this example, that would be my kind of flowy hair, right, the flowy ponytail. The stage number two is I just stand, and whatever I would wait that my shutter speed would go off, I would just throw away my ponytail. And the idea wasn't about capturing the pose, I wasn't posing in anything. The idea was just capturing my ponytail, because later on I would plan to composite them together. I would choose the image that would have a nice shape of the ponytail, and I would just take many images, just every time try to kind of throw the ponytail when the shutter go off and take a shot and see whichever will come out nice enough. So I started to edit a video and I noticed that I haven't mentioned one thing. So this is the way I capture movement, for the reason because I work by myself. But in case if you have assistant, you can actually try to capture it all at once. So whenever you have an assistant, for example, if it comes with the hair, you can have your assistant to kind of lift the hair of the model while she's posing and kind of throw it when the shutter is going off. So that way, of course, you can save the time and you can have a more organic image, because it will be it will be captured in camera, and then you can alter it a little bit later on to emphasize the movement. The same goes with the clothes, for example, right? Someone can actually throw the clothes or the skirt or the scarf, and when the shutter is going off. If you have an assistant, that's obviously the way I would suggest you to do, because then you can create, as I said, more organic looking images. But if you're by yourself, as I said, don't be upset, you can still make it happen. You just need to make, work a little bit more, but that's no problem, it's still possible. And in case if you're wondering, my shutter speed that I usually use is 160th of the second, and that works well for me. the images is quite sharp, and that's what I usually go. If you want a super sharp, like really detailed, that you might want to make it higher, and if you want it more kind of blurry and really kind of show that motion blur, then you can maybe even lower it and just try and see whichever works for you best. But I used I believe 160th of a second on the shutter speed for this particular photo shoot, and it worked fine for me. So I worked for the second part of the shoot. Whenever I was just concentrating on photographing my ponytail, I've decided that I want something even longer and more voluptuous. So I remember that I actually have an extension, a ponytail extension. So I brought it, and then I would do the same with the ponytail extension. I would first stand in front of the camera when I press the shutter, so it would focus on me, and then I would step away very fast and throw in the air the ponytail, hopefully that it will actually catch the movement, and it did. So I did quite a few takes of that one, and later on I just choose the pose that I like, and I choose the shot of the nice movement of the ponytail that I like, and in Photoshop I just paste them together. Of course you need to make some adjustments. I don't think that this is work for a beginner, but I don't think that you have to be very good in it. Maybe kind of intermediate level of Photoshop will be enough. Yes, and that's how you got it. It's not really that difficult, and I make already quite a few images like that. It just takes a little bit more work and a little bit more work in Photoshop, but that's how I take my dynamic portraits or images. And yes, and hopefully you can try it too, and if you did, please do tag me in the picture. I want to see how you did. And if you enjoyed this video, please put thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any ideas for the upcoming videos, please let me know in the comment below, and hopefully see you next time. Bye!